Hello friends, welcome to my lecture on Cauchy integral formula for the derivatives of an analytic function. In this lecture we shall discuss some important consequences of the Cauchy integral theorem. First we discuss a corollary to the theorem which we had proved in our last lecture. We had there said that if fz is an analytic function in a simply connected domain D and z naught is any fixed point in D, then if you define the function fz as integral over z naught to z fw dw, then we proved that fz is an analytic function in D, and moreover that f prime z equal to fz for all z in D. So, now let us prove a corollary to that theorem. If gz is an analytic function such that g prime z is equal to fz throughout a simply connected domain D, then integral over a to b fz dz equal to gb minus ga for all paths in D which join any two fixed points, say a and b in D. Okay. So, now let us consider the function fz as integral over z naught to z fw dw, where z naught is a fixed point in D and z is any other point in D, then the function fz is analytic, and moreover that f prime z is equal to fz for all z in D. Now, here we are given that g prime z is equal to fz. So, since f prime z minus g prime z is equal to fz minus fz equal to 0 for all z in D, it follows that fz minus gz is equal to a constant in D. Is equal to a constant, because if fz minus gz is equal to fz minus gz equal to say u xy plus ib xy, okay, then we know that since fz and gz are analytic functions in D, so fz minus gz is an analytic function in D, and therefore f prime z minus g prime z, that is the derivative of fz minus gz, is equal to partial derivative of u with respect to x plus I times partial derivative of b with respect to x. Okay. Now, f prime z minus g prime z is equal to 0. So, f prime z minus g prime z equal to 0 then implies that ux is equal to 0 and bx equal to 0. Now, since u and b satisfy Cauchy-Riemann equations, so by CR equations ux is equal to by and uy equal to minus bx, and there hence ux equal to 0 gives by equal to 0 and uy is equal to 0 because bx is 0. So, thus ux, uy, bx, by all are 0 in D, okay, and which implies that u and b are independent of x and y. So, u and b are constant, real constants, and therefore fz minus gz is a complex constant. So, fz minus gz is a equal to a constant, and therefore we can say that fz is equal to some constant plus gz, okay, where c is a complex constant. So, this means that the indefinite integral f z of the function f z, okay, the indefinite integral f z of the function f z is unique up to an additive constant c. Okay. Now, hence therefore, integral over a to b f z dz, we may write as z naught to b f z dz, which will be f as minus integral over z naught to a f z dz, f w d w it should be minus. Okay. So, integral over a to b f z dz can be written as integral over z naught to b f w d w minus integral over z naught to a f w d w, and this quantity is equal to f b. Okay. This integral by our definition of f z is f b, and this integral is f a. So, f b minus f a. So, this means that if you have a complex analytic function in a domain D and a and b are any two points in the domain D, you can take any curve joining the points a to b which lies completely inside the simply connected domain D, then integral over a to b f z dz can be evaluated by the indefinite integral of f z. You evaluate the value of the indefinite integral at the upper limit, that is f b, and then you evaluate the value of f z at the lower limit, that is f a. So, f b minus f a will give you the value of the desired integral over a to b f z dz. Now, let us consider for example this problem, integral over 1 to I z e to the power z square dz. So, here we can see that let f z be equal to z e to the power z square, then obviously it is an analytic function for all z, because it is infinitely differentiable for all z in the complex in C. Okay. So, let us find indefinite integral of f z. To find indefinite integral of f z, let us put z square equal to t. Okay. Then 2z dz equal to dt, or we can say z dz equal to dt by 2. So, integral over z e to the power z square dz will be equal to integral over e to the power t into dt by 2. So, this will be half into e to the power t or half e to the power z square. Okay. So, this is your function f z, and then integral over 1 to I z e to the power z square dz will be equal to half e to the power z square 1 to I. We are not writing a constant of integration here, because constant of integration gets cancelled when you evaluate the definite integral. So, this is 1 by 2 times e to the power I square minus e to the power 1 square. Iota square is minus 1. So, we get e to the power minus 1 minus e divided by 2. So, we can evaluate the value of the integral of z e to the power z square over 1 to I. Now, similarly, let us consider the case z cos hyperbolic z. Here we are evaluating the value of z cos hyperbolic z from minus I to plus I. Okay. So, what we do is here we will use the formula for integration by parts, and integration by parts in the complex plane for complex analytic functions is also valid. Integral, we have integral over a to b f z g dash z dz equal to f z into g z This is the formula for integration by parts. We can easily show the validity of this formula. Here we are assuming that fz and gz are analytic functions in a simply connected domain D, and a and b are any two fixed points in the domain D, and when we evaluate the integral from a to b, we can follow any curve that lies within the simply connected domain D. So, to prove this, let us consider d over dz of fz into gz. Then this will be equal to fz into g dash z plus f dash z into gz. Okay. Or we can say when we integrate, we will have integral over a to b. So, integral over a to b fz g dash z dz plus integral over a to b f dash z into gz dz will be equal to integral of d over dz of fz dz. So, fz dz, which we have to evaluate over a to b. So, this gives you this formula, and r integral over a to b fz g dash z dz equal to fz into gz a to b minus integral over a to b f dash z into gz dz. Okay. So, let us use this formula here. So, integral z cos hyperbolic z, let us take z as first function, that is we are taking f as fz as z. So, we can write z into cos hyperbolic z, integral of the second function. So, integral of cos hyperbolic z is sin hyperbolic z. Then we have here minus I2 plus I minus I2 plus I, and then derivative of z is 1, derivative cos hyperbolic z integral is sin hyperbolic z. So, this is equal to we have iota sin hyperbolic iota, and then we have minus okay. So, minus iota sin hyperbolic minus iota, okay. And then here we have cos hyperbolic z, integral of sin hyperbolic z is cos hyperbolic z, and we have minus iota and then iota, okay. Now, we know that let us see recall that sin hyperbolic z is equal to e to the power z minus e to the power minus z by 2, okay. So, sin hyperbolic iota will be equal to or you can say, let me write like this, if you replace z by minus z here, sin hyperbolic minus z will be equal to what? E to the power minus z minus e to the power z divided by 2. So, this means that this is equal to minus sin hyperbolic z. So, if sin hyperbolic z is e to the power z minus e to the power minus z by 2, replacing z by minus z, we get sin hyperbolic minus z equal to minus sin hyperbolic z, and similarly cos hyperbolic z, if you write, it will be e to the power z plus e to the power minus z by 2. Here when you replace z by minus z, there is no change, we get e to the power minus z plus e to the power z by 2. So, cos hyperbolic minus z is cos hyperbolic z, okay. So, here what we get here I sin iota sin hyperbolic iota minus becomes plus here, and sin hyperbolic minus I becomes minus I sin hyperbolic by I. So, this is minus I sin hyperbolic I, okay. So, this is this, and then here what we have cos hyperbolic I minus cos hyperbolic minus I, which is equal to cos hyperbolic I, okay. So, this cancels with this and this cancels with this, and we get the value equal to 0, okay. So, the value of this definite integral is equal to 0, definite integral is equal to 0. Now, let us discuss Cauchy integral formula. Cauchy integral formula expresses the value of a function. You can see this is Cauchy integral formula. It expresses the value of a function assumed to be analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C in terms of the value of the function on C. Okay. So, you can see we are Z naught is a point which lies inside C, we are getting the value of f at Z naught when we know the values of f on the curve C. Okay. The curve C, we are integrating along the curve C, that means the curve C uses the values of the function must be known on the curve C. So, if the function is known on the curve C, we can find the values of the function at any point interior to C. Okay. So, let f z be analytic in a simply connected domain D and C be any simple closed curve in D, then for any point Z naught inside C, we have f z naught equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over C f z over z minus z naught dz. So, let us prove this. You can see let us say take any simple domain. Okay. Let us say this is a simply connected domain. Okay. So, inside the simply connected domain D, we have a closed curve, simple closed curve C, which encloses the point Z naught. Z naught is a point lying inside C. Now, let us look at the function f z over z minus z naught. The function f z over z minus z naught is analytic everywhere inside and on the curve C except at the point z naught, because f z is analytic in the whole domain D. So, in particular it is analytic inside and on C. Okay. But because of z minus z naught there in the denominator here, the function f z over z minus z naught is analytic everywhere inside and on C except at the point z naught. Now, what do we do? With z naught as center, let us draw a small circle, okay, of radius r and radius let us say rho. Okay. This radius is let us say rho. Okay. Such that it lies completely inside the simple closed curve C. Okay. Then what happens is that we have assumed that the function f z is analytic in D. So, it is continuous everywhere in D and therefore, it is continuous at the point z naught. Now, by continuity of the function at z naught, what happens is that if you take any epsilon greater than 0, you can find a delta such that mod of f z minus f z naught is less than epsilon for all z such that mod of z minus z naught is less than delta. Okay. This delta depends on epsilon. Now, what you do, the rho that you have taken earlier, okay, this rho, the radius of the circle gamma, this circle gamma, okay, with center at z naught, its radius we have taken as rho. This rho you can take to be less than delta. Okay. So, what happens is that then when you take this to be less than delta, take rho to be less than delta, then mod of f z minus f z naught will be less than epsilon. Okay, for the circle gamma. Okay, that is mod of z minus z naught equal to rho, because this is a open circular disc with center at z naught and radius delta. Okay, this is an open circular disc and this delta. Okay, and the rho we have chosen to be less than delta. Okay. So, this circle gamma which we have drawn is this. Okay, this circle gamma. Okay. So, this circle gamma, because for all z which lie inside the circular disc mod of z minus z naught less than delta, this inequality is valid. So, this inequality will be valid on the points which lie on gamma. Okay. So, mod of f z minus f z naught will be less than epsilon for mod of z minus z naught less than rho. We can choose rho to be so small, okay, that this happens. That means, we can take rho to be less than delta. Okay. Now, what we have, let us consider the integral of f z over z minus z naught on the circle gamma, okay, on the circle gamma. Circle gamma, I repeat, it is mod of z minus z naught equal to rho counterclockwise. Okay. So, then I can split it into two parts, f z minus f z naught plus f z naught, okay, integral over gamma f z over z minus z naught dz I can write as integral over gamma f z minus f z naught plus f z naught. Okay, over z minus z naught. So, let us write it in two parts, integral over gamma f z minus f z naught over z minus z naught plus integral over gamma f z naught over z minus z naught dz. Now, f z naught is a constant because z naught is a fixed point. So, f z naught being a constant will come outside the integral. So, we have written it outside the integral. So, f z naught integral over gamma f dz over z minus z naught plus integral over gamma f z minus f z naught over z minus z naught dz. Now, integral over gamma dz over z minus z naught, we have evaluated this kind of an integral earlier by using the parametric form of the circle. So, gamma is z minus mod of z minus z naught equal to rho. So, we can write gamma in the parametric form z minus z naught equal to e to power I theta, where 0 is less than or equal to theta less than or equal to 2 pi. Okay. So, then this will be changed to 0 to 2 pi, dz will be equal to e raised to the power I theta into I d theta. So, e to the power I theta into I d theta divided by e to the power I theta. This will cancel and we will get 2 pi I. Okay. So, integral value of the integral is f z naught 2 pi f z naught, value of the integral is 2 pi I. So, 2 pi I into f z naught we have, and this is integral is remains the same. Now, we are going to show that since we have to prove that integral over gamma f z dz over z minus z naught is equal to 2 pi I f z naught, we need to prove that the second integral on the right side is equal to 0. So, let us consider the second integral on the right. We are going to show that second integral on the right has absolute value less than 2 pi epsilon. Let us see how we get this. We can prove it like this. On gamma, what we have, this circle gamma, on gamma mod of f z minus f z naught is less than epsilon, and mod of z minus z naught is equal to rho. Okay. So, on gamma mod of f z minus f z naught divided by mod of z minus z naught is less than epsilon over rho. Okay. Mod of z minus z naught is equal to rho. Okay. So, this is less than epsilon by rho, and the length of gamma is equal to 2 pi rho, because the center of the circle gamma is at z naught and radius is rho. Okay. So, what we will have then, mod of integral over gamma f z minus f z naught divided by z minus z naught dz is less than epsilon by rho into length of gamma, that is 2 pi rho. Okay. So, rho will cancel and we will get 2 pi epsilon. So, mod of integral over gamma f z minus f z naught over z minus z naught is less than 2 pi rho. Now, epsilon is arbitrary, we can choose it as small as we please, and therefore, the value of this integral over gamma, absolute value can be made arbitrarily small. This means that integral over gamma f z minus f z naught, okay, over z minus z naught dz, its value is 0. Okay. And so, integral over gamma f z over z minus z naught dz is equal to 2 pi I into f z naught. Now, let us use the method of deformation of contour. Okay. We can continuously deform this circle gamma and go to this circle over C. okay, the simple closed curve C, simple closed curve. So, by continuous deformation of this gamma, okay, we can achieve the integral over C equal to integral over gamma. So, by continuous deformation of path, because the function f z is analytic in D. So, we can do this integral over gamma f z over z minus z naught is dz is equal to integral over C f z over z minus z naught. We have seen this earlier that the integral remains unchanged. Okay. So, 1 over 2 pi I integral over gamma f z over z minus z naught dz is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over C f z over z minus z naught dz. We had said that we can continuously deform the curve, okay, until there I mean if it does not have any singular point on the way. So, there is no singular point in between gamma and C. So, we can continuously deform gamma and get the integral over gamma f z d over z minus z naught dz equal to integral over C f z over z minus z naught dz. Now, this is equal to left side is f z naught. So, f z naught is equal to so this is how we prove this Cauchy integral formula. Okay. Now, if it so happens that z naught lies outside the contour, okay, suppose you have a situation like this, suppose f z, okay, f z is suppose you are evaluating the value of the integral of f z over z minus z naught around this simple closed curve, okay, around this simple closed curve, and z naught point lies here, okay. You are integrating f z over z naught z minus z naught along this simple closed curve, and the point z naught lies outside this simple closed curve C. Then by Cauchy integral theorem, the value of the integral of f z over z minus z naught along C will be equal to 0, because you can consider a simply connected domain like this. Okay. So, now f z is analytic in the simply connected domain D, C is any simple closed curve which lies in D, okay, and it is analytic everywhere inside and on C. So, integral f z over z minus z naught, f z over z minus z naught is analytic everywhere inside and on C. So, its integral over C will be 0, okay, by Cauchy theorem. So, if z naught lies outside the simple closed curve C, then f z over z minus z naught will have its integral along C equal to 0. Now, let us calculate this integral, okay, integral over C e to the power z square over z minus 2 dz, where C is the curve mod of diagonal. So, let us take this curve first. You can see here, suppose this is complex z plane, okay. So, this is x axis, real real axis, and this is my imaginary axis. Okay. So, here we are having the simple closed curve mod of z minus 2 equal to 1, which represents a circle with center at z equal to 2 and radius 1. Okay. So, let us draw this circle. Okay, like this. Okay. So, this is a circle with center at 2, z equal to 2 and radius 1. Okay, now if you look at this function, compare this function with the Cauchy integral formula. Here you notice that f z is equal to e to the power z square and z naught is equal to 2. The Cauchy integral formula is f z naught equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over c f z dz over z minus z naught. So, let us compare this integral with this integral. Okay. So, you can see f z equal to e to power z square and z naught is equal to 2. Now, we are evaluating its integral of this curve around the simple closed curve C. This is a simple closed curve because it is a circle, and when we do not write the orientation of the curve, we always mean it is anti-clockwise. Okay. Unless otherwise stated, we will always mean that the orientation of the simple closed curve is in the positive direction. Okay. So, this is the direction in which we are to integrate, and now you can see z naught equal to 2. This z naught equal to 2 lies inside the simple closed curve, that is the circle. It is at the center of the circle. Okay. Therefore, by Cauchy integral formula, before Cauchy integral formula, we have to check the analyticity of the function f z. F z is e to the power z square. E to power z square is analytic for all finite z. It is analytic in the whole complex plane. So, in particular, it is analytic in any simply connected domain D which contains this simple closed curve C, that is the circle mod of z minus 2 equal to 1. You can take any simple closed curve. Okay. Let us take any simple closed curve. Okay, any simple closed curve which contains your circle C mod of z minus 2 equal to 1. So, f z is equal to e to power z square is analytic there, and therefore, integral over C e to the power z square dz is upon z minus 2 equal to 2 pi I into f z naught, that is f at 2, z naught is 2 here. So, f z is e to power z square. So, 2 pi I into e to the power 2 square. Okay. That means 2 pi I e to the power 4, that is the value of the integral. Now, let us take the other problem, mod of the z minus I equal to 1. Here also we have a circle. This time the center of the circle is at z equal to iota and radius is 1. So, let us draw this circle. Iota means the point z equal to I means 0 1 point. 0 1 point means iota is here. Okay. It is in complex z plane, z equal to iota means in the Cartesian plane it is 0 1 point. Okay. Now, we take 0 1 r z equal to I as center and radius 1 and draw the circle. So, we get this circle. Okay. And you can see z equal to 2 is here. Okay. Z equal to 2, this is z equal to 2, this means the point 2 0. Okay. The point 2 0 has its distance from the center 0 1. How much is the distance? Distance between z equal to I, that is 0 1 and 2 0 is equal to under root 2 square plus 1 square. So, this is equal to square root 5 and square root 5 is greater than 1. Okay. So, the radius of the circle which is 1, okay, means that the circle does not enclose the point 2 0 or z equal to 2, and therefore, since z equal to 2 lies outside C, okay, by Cauchy integral theorem, the integral over C e to the power z square over z minus 2 dz equal to 0. Okay. C is mod of z minus I equal to 1, and we are integrating again in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Now, let us do one more example here. Let us do the same integral as in the previous example with C as the curve shown below. So, we are again integrating e to power z square over z minus 2, but this time the curve C is different. Let us consider integral over C e to the power z square over z minus 2 dz. Okay. So, we are to integrate e to power z square over z minus 2 along C, but C is not a simple closed curve, you can see. Let us say suppose we start from here, then we move like this, okay. Let us start from here, we go this way, and then this way, and then reach here, and then we move this way. We start let us start like this. So, let us start from here, okay. We go this way, then this way, then this, then when we reach here we come this way, okay. We go this way, and then reach here. So, we are moving around the point z equal to 2 twice, okay. Around the z equal to 2 point we are moving twice, but we are moving in the clockwise direction, and then we see that it is not a simple closed curve. This is a closed curve, but it is not a simple closed curve because it intersects itself at this point. This point it intersects itself. So, C is not a simple closed curve. So, how to apply the Cauchy integral formula here? What we will do, we will break it into two parts, okay. We will break it into two parts. First, we will integrate from along this, suppose this point is say P, okay, P Q R and then S P, okay. So, integral over C can be written as integral over C e to the power z square over z minus 2 dz can be written as integral over P Q R S P, P Q R S P e to the power z square over z minus 2 dz. Now, you can see from here if we go P Q R S P, it is a simple closed curve, it does not intersect itself, and we have reached the initial point. Now, from here we then move this way P E F P, okay. So, P E F G, let me write. So, then we have the second part as integral over P E F G P. Okay. Now, the curve P Q R S P, okay, the function e to power z square is analytic in the whole complex plane, e to power z square over z minus 2 is analytic everywhere in the complex plane except at the point 2, okay, and P Q R S P is a simple closed curve, okay. Integral over e to power z square over z minus 2 dz then we can find by the Cauchy integral formula, but we notice here that we are moving along the simple closed curve P Q R S P in the clockwise direction. So, this will be equal to minus 2 pi I f z naught. F z naught means e to the power 2 square, z naught is equal to 2 and f z is equal to e to power z square. So, this is e to the power 2 square, okay. And then here again when we move from P and F G E F G P, this is again a simple closed curve, and we are taking a round about the point z equal to 2. So, by Cauchy integral formula this is also equal to minus 2 pi I e to the power 2 square, okay. So, what we get minus 4 pi I, okay, e to the power 2 square, this is e to power 2 square, this is also the same value we have. So, minus 4 pi I e to the power 4, okay. Both along both the parts of the curve C okay, we are moving clockwise. So, we will put a negative sign. So, that is why we get the value this minus 4 pi I e to the power 4. So, this is how we do this problem, where we took C to be any closed curve which is not simple closed. Now, let us consider the theorem which tells us that if f z is an analytic function, then all ordered derivatives of f z are also analytic. Now, this result is very important. If you see it, compare it with the corresponding result in real analysis, there if f z is, if a function by equal to f x is differentiable, we cannot say anything about the existence of the second order derivative. But here if the function f z is analytic, okay, if f z is differentiable in some domain, all ordered derivatives of f z are also differentiable, all ordered derivatives of f z are analytic. That means all ordered derivatives of f z exist and are therefore analytic functions. So, this way the complex analytic functions behave in a very simple manner. Then the as far as the derivatives are concerned compared to their counterparts in real analysis. So, if f z is analytic in a simply connected domain D, it possesses derivatives of all orders in D. This result we had used when we proved the fact that the real and imaginary parts of an analytic function are harmonic functions. There we had said that later on we will prove that if f z is analytic in D, then all ordered derivatives of f z are also analytic, and so f z is infinitely differentiable, and therefore the real and imaginary parts u x y and v x y of f z are continuous. Okay, second order partial derivatives of f z, second order partial derivatives of u x y and v x y are continuous, and that is why the mixed derivatives u x y and u y x are equal. Okay, and so we were able to prove that u is a solution of the Laplace equation. So, this result we had used that time. Now, we are going to prove it. So, if f z is analytic in a simply connected domain D, it possesses derivatives of all orders in D which are also analytic functions in D. The values of these derivatives at any point z naught in D are given by f n z naught, this is another derivative, f n z naught equal to n factorial by 2 pi I integral over C f z over z minus z naught to the power n plus 1 dz, where n takes values 1, 2 and so on. Now, C is any simple closed curve lying wholly in D and encloses the point z naught, the curve C being traversed in the counterclockwise sense. So, you let me say, suppose your domain is like this, okay, this is your domain D and this is your point z naught, okay. C is any simple closed curve, okay, which encloses z naught and lies completely inside D, okay, and we are moving along C in the counterclockwise direction, okay. Now, let us take a point z naught plus delta z inside C, okay, in a neighborhood of z naught. So, let us take a point z naught plus delta z here. Let us take a point z naught plus delta z in a neighborhood of z naught inside C, okay. Then we can apply Cauchy integral formula. Cauchy integral formula when we apply we get the value of f at z naught plus delta z equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over C f z over z minus z naught minus delta z dz, okay. And when we apply Cauchy integral formula for f at the point z naught, we get f z naught equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over C f z over z minus z naught dz. Now, let us subtract the second equation from first equation. So, f z naught plus delta z minus f z naught over delta z is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over C f z and then 1 over z minus z naught minus delta z minus 1 over z minus z naught delta z. Now, this expression we can write in this manner. You can verify that they are equal. 1 over delta z, we are multiplying this expression by 1 over delta z. So, 1 over delta z, 1 over z minus z naught minus delta z minus 1 over z minus z naught, this expression inside the curly bracket multiplied by 1 over z, is delta z is equal to 1 over z minus z naught whole square plus delta z divided by z minus z naught minus delta z into z minus z naught whole square. So, we are writing this expression inside the curly bracket in a particular form, because we want to prove the Cauchy integral formula, this one for n equal to 1, and when you put n equal to 1 here, f prime z naught you get f prime z naught is 1 factorial over 2 pi I, that is 1 over 2 pi I integral over c f z over z minus z naught whole square dz. So, the right side here we are trying to bring in the form integral over c f z over z minus z naught whole square, that is why we have written this as 1 over z minus z naught whole square. Now, let us replace this value here. Okay. So, when we put this value there, what we get, and take the limit as delta z tends to 0. Okay. So, when we take the limit as delta z tends to 0, this gives you f prime z naught. So, f prime z naught is equal to f z naught plus delta z minus f z naught over delta z, which is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral over c f z over z minus z naught whole square dz plus limit delta z tends to 0 delta z over 2 pi I. So, this is limit delta z tends to 0 delta z over 2 pi I integral over c f z over z minus z naught minus delta z dz. Okay. Now, f prime z naught is equal to this, we want to prove that f prime z naught is equal to this value, this means we have to show that this value is 0. Okay. So, let us now show that the second expression on the right side, this is second expression on the right side, it has value 0. So, since f z is analytic inside in D, it is analytic in inside and on C. Okay. In particular, f z is continuous on C. So, since f z is continuous on C, it is a bounded quantity on C, its absolute value mod of f z is less than or equal to some constant m on C. Okay. So, therefore, we can find a constant m such that mod of f z is less than or equal to m for all z on C. Now, let us say that delta be the distance of z naught from the nearest point z on C. Okay. So, what we have, suppose this is your domain D and this is your simple closed curve. Okay. C, z naught is some point here. Okay. So, then we are taking delta to be the minimum value of mod of z minus z naught, okay, where z belongs to C. Okay. So, delta is the distance of z naught from the point z on C which is nearest to z naught. Okay. So, minimum of mod of z minus z naught z belonging to C, and L be the length of C. So, this means that mod of z minus z naught will be greater than or equal to delta for all z belonging to C. Okay. And L is the length of C. Okay. Then what we have, let us choose our delta z to be smaller than mod of delta z to be smaller than this delta y 2. This delta is the minimum of the shortest length between the distance of the point z naught from the nearest point on the boundary of C. Okay. So, mod of delta z let us take to be less than delta by 2, then what we will get, mod of z minus z naught minus delta z. Okay. Let us calculate this, mod of z minus z naught minus delta z, this is greater than or equal to mod of z minus z naught minus mod of delta z. Now, z belongs to, z is moving along the curve C. So, mod of z minus z naught is greater than or equal to delta, and mod of delta z is less than delta by 2. So, this is delta by 2 here, you can put a negative sign here, you can put a greater than sign here. This is greater than delta minus delta by 2. So, this is delta by 2. So, what we can say, mod of f z divided by z minus z naught whole square into z minus z naught minus delta z, mod of this is less than or equal to mod of f z is less than or equal to m on C, mod of z minus z naught is like greater than or equal to delta. Okay. So, this is delta square, and then we have mod of z minus z naught minus delta z, which is greater than delta by 2. So, this is into delta by 2. So, let us write it as less than here. Okay. So, then this is equal to 2 m by delta q. Okay. And L is the length of C. So, we can write here maximum value of R estimate of mod of f z over z minus z naught whole square into z minus z naught minus delta z, the modulus of this quantity integrand is less than or equal to 2 m by delta cube, and length of C is L. So, we have 2 m L by delta cube. Okay. Now, this from this what do we notice? We have to calculate this, we have to show this goes to 0. Okay. So, let us consider mod of delta z by 2 pi I, okay, integral over C f z dz divided by z minus z naught whole square into z minus z naught minus delta z. Okay. Mod of this is less than or equal to mod of delta z divided by 2 pi I, oh sorry, mod we have used. So, this will be mod of delta z divided by 2 pi into 2 m L by delta q. Okay. So, this cancels with this and we get m L times mod of delta z divided by pi delta q, and this quantity goes to 0 as delta goes to 0. So, as delta goes to 0, okay, this quantity goes to 0, and so limit delta z tends to 0, delta z over 2 pi I f z over z minus z naught whole square into z minus z naught minus delta z dz is equal to 0. So, this quantity becomes 0, and what we have is then so this formula. Okay. So, then we have f prime z naught equal to this quantity. Okay. So, this means that the formula holds for n equal to 1. Okay. Following this proof, okay, we can similarly prove for n equal to 2. Okay. So, on using the formula for n equal to 1, we can similarly prove for n equal to 2. We have earlier used this value, that is f z naught equal to this, f z naught plus delta z equal to this. Now, you use this formula for f prime z. Okay. So, write f prime z naught plus delta z and f prime z naught, and then divide f prime z naught plus delta z minus f prime z naught over delta z, consider over delta z and take delta z tends to 0, you get f double prime z naught. So, we can get the similar same proof we have for n equal to 2. Okay. So, on using the formula for n equal to 1, we can similarly prove for n equal to 2, and then general formula follows by induction. Okay. Now, let us consider this integral I equal to integral e to power 2 z over z to the power 4. So, let us compare it with this formula f n z naught equal to 1 over 2 n factorial over 2 pi I integral over C f z dz over z minus z naught to the power 4, z minus z naught to the power n plus 1, where n takes values 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. So, here we have if you compare this integral with this integral, we have f z equal to e to the power 2 z, okay, and z naught is equal to 0 and n is equal to 3. All right. Now, let us see the curve along which we have to integrate. The curve C is mod of z equal to 1. This means that the center of the circle is at 0, z equal to 0 and radius is 1. So, we are considering unit circle mod z equal to 1. This center is z equal to 0 and radius is 1. Okay. And this is your z plane, okay, real axis, imaginary axis. This is mod. So, this is unit circle, okay, unit circle. Now, f z equal to e to power z is analytic for all z, okay, and so it is analytic in any simply connected domain you can consider which contains mod z equal to 1. Okay. Mod z equal to 1 is a simple closed curve, okay, it is a circle. So, it is a simple closed curve. So, we are moving along the simple closed curve in the counterclockwise direction, and therefore, if you follow this formula, we have integral over C e to the power 2 z over z to the power 4 dz will be equal to 2 pi I, take n equal to 3. So, 3 factorial and then f triple prime, okay, z naught is 0. Okay. Now, f z is e to the power 2 z. So, you can find its derivative f prime z, it is 2 times e to the power 2 z, then f double prime z. So, 2 square e to the power 2 z and then f triple prime. So, it is 2 cube e to the power 2 z. Okay. So, this will be equal to 2 pi I by 6, 2 to the power 3 means 8 e to the power 2 z at z equal to 0. Okay. At z equal to 0, e to the power 2 z is 1. So, we have 16 pi I over 6, which is equal to 8 pi I over 3. Okay. So, this is the value of the given integral. Okay. Now, let us see with the contour shown below and evaluate the same integral as in the previous example. Now, you can see here this is z equal to 0, okay, and we are getting I equal to integral over c e to the power 2 z over z to the power 4. So, I equal to integral over c e to the power 2 z over z to the power 4 dz. Okay. C is a simple closed curve here. Okay. We are going along the simple closed curve C. Okay. The function e to power 2 z is analytic in the whole complex plane. So, we can apply the formula, and this is 2 pi I by 3 factorial, okay, and then d cube over dz cube of e to the power 2 z at z equal to 0. So, it will be same, we get 2 pi I by 6 and we get 2 cube e to the power 2 z at z equal to 0. So, this is 2 pi I by 6 and we had 8, okay, e to the 0 is 1. So, we get 8 pi I by 3. Okay. So, we get the same value here because the curve C is a simple closed curve which encloses z equal to 0, and f z equal to e to the power 2 z as we know is analytic in the whole complex planes. So, this is how we evaluate this integral. With this I would like to end my lecture. Thank you very much for your attention.